And I think that, the whole thing over here, the association, it is to kind of ignite and motivate and innovate. Young kids to think differently, to not get scared, to not fear, to kind of get them out of what they have been brought up with and maybe expose them to, like they say, 360 degree of an education, kind of like even in the course, whatever they want you to apply for in your mind before you think should be something that allows you to open up. And that is what we want to do for this. The thing is that it's not only the Charcoal Project, it's the Charcoal Project Scholarship. And the Charcoal Project Scholarship at Pearl Academy. Now, why Charcoal Project Scholarship at Pearl Academy? Because interestingly, when I wanted to associate in this capacity to give each child the thought that made me open and create what I did for my design cell and design studio. The thought is, charcoal, when you look upon a space or an idea, it's lifeless and it doesn't have, it's like gray, almost black. But when you light charcoal or you put a spark upon it, it's like you kind of breathe into it ideas. And when you do that, you're igniting it and you're making it like glow. So each project, whatever it may be, whether it is to make a space, whether it is to design a collection, whether it is to design a concept or an idea, each space needs to be like, you need to breathe life into it. And the process, and that's why we call it the Charcoal Project Scholarship. So with this, we will kind of like put together a contest. Right. And you can tell me what the contest is going to be.
So we've kind of been working on it for a while, but essentially the idea came from Sussanne, which is a very beautiful idea, which she will probably elaborate a little later. But I think the way it's going to do is that we are having this scholarship in 3 of our campus. So there are 6 scholarships in all. So the 3 students who win this scholarship will get a full tuition fee waiver for studying at Pearl Academy. And 3 runners-up in each campus would get an opportunity to go to the Art Fest in Santa Fe, which is a unique experience of 3 weeks where you have design students from more than 40 countries and design teachers and designers from 40 countries participating in that. It's like a real mela of art from all over the world. So 6 students will get that opportunity for the next 3 years. So we're talking about 18 students in all. And what Sussanne has promised us that she will be part of the selection process. So finally the students who get the scholarship pass the acid test that Sussanne has for them. Am I right, Sussanne? Is that
no, it's just that we kind of like, since the kids start off at freshmen, so before they kind of like get the scholarship, they will have to pass it's just more of a test to kind of understand what their mind is, and we will set it out as far and wide as we can to the deserving child who would like to think differently, who'd like to kind of be motivated. So it would be a test where they could use any medium, whether it is film, whether it is art, whether it is recycled material. They could create a sculpture, they could create any kind of object of art. And that object or piece of art there will be a theme that we will not disclose right now. We are going to give them that theme, a topic, and that topic will make them kind of ignite them to think and create that piece. And then we will do a search and we will kind of choose those kids. So we have three cities where Pearl Academy is. One is Jaipur, one is Noida, and now in Mumbai. So the 3 kids who get the scholarship will be given, like he said, the 4 years, every year free tuition, and the runner-up will go to the Santa Fe Art Fest. So altogether, it's like 18 kids. And so we kind of like will also be going to those cities and announcing in Delhi, I mean in Noida, in Jaipur, and as we do in Mumbai.
Right.
And we just want to kind of motivate these young kids, and I really want to do that because I think that the youth of tomorrow is our India, is our better India, and is our new way of thinking. And if I can contribute even in the smallest way like this, I will feel really happy for the future of our, for the design
that's
sense.
where, when I said that she speaks the same language.
Came into my office one day with Harshad, and we were sitting and chatting, and the first thing that he said was about how he wanted to create this power to give these kids a way to innovate and to be independent thinkers, to be free of their their natural surrounding, maybe to kind of think differently, kind of be motivated by a new environment. And all of this kind of like made me realize that if we can, if we start off even with 3 scholarships and then maybe do more later, we can make a difference to one child, and that one child will make a difference to so many others when that child is successful. So it definitely, I think that you have to start off by just wanting to think completely out of that box. And that's the main thing here. Yeah.
And it truly is commendable, because I have to tell you that the Charcoal Project Scholarship is across 3 years. We're promoting 18 students as they keep going through by year in year. And this tuition package is a cumulative of almost 5 crores. So it's a big amount that we're talking about. And it's not just that, we're giving them that wonderful opportunity to go to Santa Fe. Something that, not everyone can afford or have in their life.
Definitely. I think that the main thing is even the exposure. Like, we want to promote this scholarship in the smallest towns of India, so that they come to Mumbai, they come to Noida, they come to, these kids who don't have a chance to study, or they don't even know better. Maybe if they hear about it and they get motivated even in the smallest way by my conversation today, they can make a difference. And that one child who makes a difference, I will feel happy.
Yeah, I think that's really, in some ways, that's what really this thing is all about. And Sussanne mentioned one line there, which I still remember from our conversation, which when she said, igniting mind through creativity and individuality. And that's where we got the name of Igniting Minds, because this is what this scholarship is doing. So when I met her, I think it was her genuineness and commitment to the idea. I think that was the most important thing. And I think once we connected on that, everything else was just a detail to be worked out.
And what best way to ignite the mind and creativity than through travel? I think that's one of the best ways that you can. All right, I think we've had a long chat. In case we have any questions from our friends in the media over here, needless to say, let's keep all our questions to Pearl Academy and the Charcoal Project Scholarship. I think we've almost covered everything. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have any questions also, because we have covered a lot over here. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Sussanne. You've
Hi.
always held design, fashion, art so close to your heart. So if you were given I don't know in what, I understand it's a creative collaboration, but if you were given an opportunity to actually maybe conduct a lecture of sorts in a class like this, what would be some of the top tips a fashionista and artist like you would have to offer to the students?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. And I would love to give a lecture one day to these young kids. And the main thing, I think I would break it down into just three bullet points. And these 3 bullet points that have helped me, think or be the person I am. One is innovation. You have to innovate in everything that you do, whether it's design, whether it's fashion, whether it is, if it's marketing. You got to innovate an idea. You got to innovate a thought that maybe nobody has thought of before. The second would be to kind of create a kind of kind of thought, that is definitely beyond what you have been brought up. You have to keep all of that behind, do not let any of that influence you, and just fall in love with the purity of the art, whatever it may be. Don't be scared to be yourself. Don't allow anything from society or from the, the trends to affect you. You do look at the trends, you do look at what's in vogue or what's happening around you, but you have to think and follow your instinct. And if a child has the confidence to do these three things, then you automatically are allowing him or her to think differently.
If I was in this class, I'll just say, listen to what she's saying. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully one day.
As soon as you asked the question, I could see Sharad's mind doing a mental calculation and saying, okay, we start in August, great, must check with Sussanne if her dates are free.
But Sussanne has promised that when our campus opens up, she will also be interacting with the students and also provide internship for the students. And that's something where they will actually get to see the master in motion. That's what we are looking forward to.
No master. Just one person who wants to make a change. That's all. So no master.
Okay, so no master.
Do we have any other question? Yes, ma'am.
My question's for Sussanne. I want to know that now, today, when you look back at your growing years, you didn't have Pearl Academy. So is there something that you would have done differently, or did you have a mentor? Like today, Pearl is
I
so
did. I
students.
totally did. I studied in Brooks College in California, in Southern California, and I really am so happy that I went there, because I remember the first thing that we learned on day one in class, where I walked into my class with this art design teacher that I had, who was hysterically sweet little lady, old lady. She must have been over 70 years old, but she looked so spectacularly topped, with her little eccentric dressing sense and everything. And she told us that there is no wrong design. If you can explain it, it's there, it's right. So the whole thing is how you explain it. In the whole world, there is nothing that is wrong. It's just the way you explain it. So this is one thing that infused in me that, I was, 17 years old, and this was, I'm talking about really long back. So it's like, at that age, if children, like from Pearl, if they're allowed to think and create a newness in the way they think, then automatically they will get stimulated to design better, to do better, to create better, to do everything. So it's just about how much of stimulus that they are, provided with.
Sussanne, you are obviously someone that, a lot of girls look up to as a strong, independent woman. And like you said, who isn't afraid of the society, to make those strong calls, be it professionally or personally. But a lot of times, as girls in our growing years, we have a lot of confusion to deal with. So whenever there's such a situation, who is it that you take, inspiration from, and how is it that you finally say that, okay, this is what I'm going to decide and I'm not going to look back?
There's one thing that I learned, is that above every other voice, you have to listen to your heart. That's it. So you listen to your heart and you know where you're heading. That's all that there is in life. So I think that's what every girl should do.
Sussanne, you've dabbled with fashion. You've also obviously have the home...
I haven't really dabbled with fashion ever. I've always been a design world.
More fashionable, that's what she means.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about Bandra 190, the charcoal project, and your...
Bandra 190 is the concept store, so we have our charcoal project there. Okay. But it's not, I don't hold any part of the fashion part of the store.
Okay. So my question then really to you is, when you're looking to expand yourself creatively, do you see something that you still want to tap on the agenda that you're looking forward to doing? Because honestly, collaborating with an academy wasn't something we thought, and it's a pleasant surprise. So what do you really have on the agenda next for yourself?
I think that there is no agenda. And like I said, you just have to take it one step at a time. If it feels right, you do it. When we met, it felt right, because I was going to contribute to something which was meaningful. So for me, more than any agenda or any, target, It is how you feel and how much you can contribute to that. So I'll take one day at a time, and maybe I will do a lot more, but right now I'm doing this. Yeah, thank you.
I actually have a question which kind of like came as a lead on to what she just asked you. You were talking about how it's important to have inspiration. It's always good if you have a mentor. But talking about inspiration, I mean, what does Sussanne do for inspiration? What is that thing? How do you go about looking for, your next piece of inspiration?
It's a very strange thing, but my inspiration comes from the strangest thing. I have 2 kids, and they are 8 and 6. They have the most bizarre imagination, because they are into the most creative characters of storybooks and these various kind of app games and everything. And the strange thing is that there are these things that they show me. Like there is this game called Infinity Blade. There's this thing called Clash of Clans. Now these are these various app games which kind of show you how to live your life, like how to kind of like be a child and also be an adult in that zone to kind of survive, So the whole thing is that children's storybooks, like a Harry Potter or a Lord of the Rings, it inspires you how to think and how to create your own life. So you have to, whether you have struggles, you have to deal with things that you need to deal with, and then you have to be powerful and strong and be righteous. So I think even with design, the inspiration should always be to try and kind of create a story. It's not about one piece of furniture. It's not about one outfit. It's about the story that you create in that collection that will kind of like be very interesting to understand. So I think that it all comes, it connects the dots. So nobody will really understand the thought flow, but everything connects eventually.
But this is very interesting what you just said, because parents inspire their children. The reason your children are reading books is because you're reading books to them, and you've kind of put that habit into them. And today, those children are inspiring you. It all comes full circle. I believe we have another question.
Okay, Sussanne, this is a little away from Pearl Academy and the event that we are here for, but at least for the sake of children and a lot of Hrithik fans want to know, would you be going back to a family unit or no?
We're actually here just to talk about Pearl Academy, so thank you so much. Thanks.
Hi, Sussanne. One question for you, because you just mentioned your inspirations. So this question is related to that, because it made me curious, because these kind of inspirations not many take. What is actual definition of design for you?
Design is a thought that should provoke you, that should seduce you, that should instigate you, that should calm you. Any design has that effect on a person. So design can affect a person, depending on what the design is, it can affect a person in all these ways. So for me, when I look at good design, it has to have a very serene and calming effect on the person, on me. And if I want to have a design which kind of like, motivates or inspires, you put that in. So it's like the combination of these various ingredients that you want. So design is more to kind of provoke feelings. So feelings and design go together, because a design gives you good feeling. And if a design gives you a good feeling, then it's a good design, whatever it may be.
Actually, for the first time, I'm hearing this word thought from someone, because I believe in this same thing. Design is a thought.
Yes.
It's not a product.
No.
People think design is a product. And actually, even in the books, it's given in the definitions that design is a product that appeals to the masses, which is completely wrong.
I agree with you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Good to know.
Would you like to come and teach with us?
I'm actually a Pearl alumni.
Excellent.
Oh, fantastic.
See, that's amazing.
No, it's for last 20 years we have done something.
Yes, I was just
You
going to
look at
say
him,
that.
and we have Vaishali sitting there at the back. Thank you, Vaishali, for coming here. I think we've made a difference.
Kudos. You all have really made a difference. Excellent. I think we've got enough questions in for today. Once again, thank you all so much for being here with us. pearlacademy.com if you need any more information. Thank you.